future battle of Armageddon during the last days. Satan, the Prince of Wrath. The existence of Satan is hotly debated, and many often see Satan as the transformation that Lucifer had after his fall from heaven. Some believe that Satan and Lucifer are in fact separate entities. In Hebrew, the name Satan translates to adversary, while Lucifer translates to light-bearing. These are all partially true. Whether they are the same being or not, this video will approach Satan as his own entity at the moment, and describe him and his demonic being. Satan is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, demons to walk the earth. The Bible describes him walking the earth as a lion and looking for whoever he can devour. Satan's specialty is wrath, and is able to tempt others into vengeful hatred, oppression, discord, and violence. His power is truly unmatched for the other princes, and is the second most powerful demon in existence. Satan is responsible for spreading violence throughout the earth, and leads people to war, genocide, and tyranny. He is violence incarnate, and understands how to manipulate humans' emotions like a master puppeteer. Once in his grasp, Satan offers some of the worst experiences that hell has to offer. One of Satan's most well-known punishments is the burning lake of fire. This boiling lake of magma and fire torments its inhabitants eternally, and offers no escape. The souls who were oppressively violent throughout their life reside in this burning lake of pain. And if thy hand offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter into life maimed than having two hands to go into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched. Mark 9:43. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Revelation 20:14-15. Satan takes great pleasure in his vileness and proves daily that he is wrath incarnate. Satan is also famous for granting great abilities to others in exchange for their souls. He then takes great pleasure in roasting them in the fires of hell. The deepest secret about Satan is not the fact of his manipulative power, but in fact does center on his very being. Satan is not only one of the most dangerous demons, but was in fact the first. After the fall from heaven, Lucifer split himself in two. The wrathful, angry abomination that was cast from him formed into what is known as Satan, and with his growth came power and malevolence, a powerful entity to keep all of the other demons in line. What of Lucifer, then? Lucifer was now a fully capable, intelligent, and powerful tactician that could not be blinded by wrath. Lucifer had now become the most intelligent and dangerous entity within the universe. Last Prince of Hell, Lucifer. Heaven. It is a paradise to mortals. It is a place of unimaginable beauty that one day human souls may be able to venture to in their afterlife. In its early days before mankind, heaven was a place that was exclusively meant for God and his closest spiritual creations, the angels. One of God's most precious angels, an archangel in fact, that was both beautiful and held power beyond measure. Lucifer was second in command to all things. Loyal to his fellow angels and a lover of God, Lucifer helped rule under God a conglomeration of various heavenly paradises. Things in the heavens were perfect. Eventually, wanting to expand his creation into a mortal realm, God created the material universe. In this universe, there were vast galaxies, stars, solar systems, black holes, and other amazing sights. He then created life, and with this creation of life came a creature that God created after his own image, mankind. The first humans, Adam and Eve, were placed on a tiny planet called Earth within the Sol star system and into a small, peaceful garden that he named Eden. Proud of his new creations, God then commanded his heavenly angels to aid the humans and to help them grow and expand. Lucifer, furious over humanity's creation, argued that flesh would be much weaker than the angels, and that they would be easily corrupted and would destroy all that God had created. Because of this weakness, Lucifer argued that they were not worth saving, and that God had made a grave mistake against heaven, the universe, and harmony. Angry at Lucifer's lack of compassion, God demanded that Lucifer stand down and should give mortals a chance. In retaliation, Lucifer spread his disdain towards God's path and corrupted various angels and archangels within heaven. Civil war eventually broke out as Lucifer led an army of angels to attack God's throne himself. He argued that he should lead, and that he would not let God destroy peace and perfection within the universe. The battle was fierce. Angels fought one another with incredible malice. Heaven had been split, and now what was once a beautiful paradise was being corrupted and destroyed by hate. God, imbuing the Archangel Michael with immense power, overpowered Lucifer and his angels. The heavenly gates were cast open, and Lucifer and his followers were cast into the mortal universe and deep into a fiery prison known as Hell. The torment was immense. The angels, now stripped of their grace and wings, underwent unimaginable pain within Hell's blazing fires. The pain and torment rotted them, and all goodness left them, transforming them into hellish entities that today are known as demons. The first demon to be created was Satan. He was expelled from Lucifer himself in an effort to end his suffering in the lake of fire at the expense of reducing his own power. The gamble worked, allowing Lucifer to be free from the fiery lake. His freedom meant retribution. One by one, Lucifer saved his rebel army from the flames of hell. However, they were now gruesome, twisted-looking demons. At this time, Lucifer cemented his rule and created the princes of hell: Mammon, the prince of greed; Belphegor, the prince of sloth; Leviathan, the prince of envy; Beelzebub, the prince of gluttony; Asmodeus, the prince of lust; Satan, the prince of wrath; and himself being the prince of pride. Each demon prince was then given a different portion of hell to rule as he or she sees fit. At this time, Lucifer's revenge was only just beginning. Lucifer, entering the form of a snake, met with Eve in the garden and, using his silvery tongue, convinced her to betray God and to become like him instead. And thus it was. Mankind was corrupted and cursed due to Lucifer. Because of Lucifer's kidnapping of human souls, it would have to take God himself coming to Earth to eventually save them once and for all. Lucifer's hell is the deepest and darkest pit. It is a dark and terrifying frozen wasteland. Souls freeze eternally and are imprisoned within perpetual horrific nightmares deep within their layers of ices. Whenever they do awaken, they are met with monstrosities beyond imagination until they eventually freeze once more. This hell is meant for the worst of humanity and the ones that Lucifer corrupted himself. Also known as Lake Cocytus, this frozen hell is filled with traitors, genocidal maniacs, and leaders and rulers who put their own pride and power above the lives of those who they swore to rule and protect. It is a pit of frozen misery, and is one that Lucifer takes great pride in ruling. However, the frozen lake is nothing but the gate, or the lid of the pit. One day at the Battle of Armageddon, and after the defeat of the princes of hell by the hands of God, the frozen gates will open, and Lucifer will be cast down into the black abyss below. God will cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. Revelations 23. But this small release from the pit will be short-lived, as God has an eternal punishment in mind for Lucifer. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night, forever and ever. Revelations 20:10. And so ends the story of the 7 princes of hell, and of the rise, fall, and eternal damnation of Lucifer,